You know, often on the Daily Cancellation, I'm going out on a limb on my own to cancel somebody, bravely canceling what nobody has canceled before. But today is a somewhat rare occasion where I will join a pre-existing cancel mob to cancel someone by the name of James Charles. James Charles is a famous YouTuber known for wearing makeup. A while ago, he became a cover girl, even though he's not a girl. And this fact that he's not a girl is something that he apparently needs to be reminded of. Charles is, as the media tells me, facing backlash for a YouTube stunt where he experienced pregnancy for a day. Experienced pregnancy for a day. And by experienced pregnancy, I mean that he wore a prosthetic belly and took some nude pregnancy photos. And that's it. That was essentially the extent of his pregnancy experience. Because I know you really want to see it. Here it is. Watch.
All of our close friends are all in a group chat together, and a few days ago we were all joking around with her, and she came back at us and said, I bet you could not last 24 hours being pregnant. And I thought to myself, okay, challenge accepted. So for today's YouTube video, Laura is going to join us, and we're going to be doing a ton of different challenges and tasks to really see if I am strong enough to experience what it's actually like being pregnant for 24 hours straight. Let's get started.
You're squishing the baby!
Move back.
Scoot back.
Sorry, sweeties. Sweeties.
Twinsies. Oh, a little sideways tactic.
That was insane.
You definitely have to go on your knees.
Okay, I'm a professional doc, clearly since I got pregnant.
Oh,
You just kicked, I felt it. There's two of them, and then I forgot.
definitely down on your butt, yeah.
You're having a nip slip.
Your entire areola is completely out.
Yeah. Very Halsey.
But more supple, yeah, like that.
Now, like James Charles, I am not a girl. So, like James Charles, I don't know what pregnancy is like. But I'm pretty sure, after having watched my wife go through it several times, that it involves more than having to sit sideways at the table so your stomach doesn't get in the way. There are all kinds of psychological, emotional, hormonal aspects to the experience that cannot be replicated. Also, bladder-related aspects, I'm told. So if you really want to give pregnancy simulation a shot, you should at least once pee yourself from sitting down too fast, or however it works. The backlash Charles is experiencing comes from people claiming that he's minimizing pregnancy and making a joke out of it. I agree that he's doing that. But I think the canceling should go further, because this is not just minimizing, making a joke out of it. This is appropriation. And it is appropriation far more degrading and reductive than, say, a white person wearing a Native American headdress for Halloween. So he should receive a consequence at least as harsh as the one we would dole out for the person on Halloween wearing that costume. The rules should be applied consistently. I am a firm believer that the left should be required to live by its own standards. Even if I don't agree with the standards, these are your standards. You should have to live by them. In fact, I'm the one who shouldn't have to. You should have to, not me. So that's why, when it comes to the left standards, I will passionately defend any conservative against the left's standards. But I will take those standards and passionately argue that people on the left should have to live by them. And that doesn't make it a double standard for me. No. Because again, they're not our standards. They're yours. You live by them. I don't care what you think about appropriation or anything else. But you should care what you think. You're the one who thinks it. Now, in this case, though, it really is appropriation, okay? And it's part of a larger cultural trend wherein men are claiming womanhood for themselves, turning womanhood into a costume they can wear, claiming female spaces for their own, taking what rightfully belongs to women. In fact, the only kind of identity that is actually being appropriated in this culture is womanhood. It's not possible, actually, to appropriate a culture. That doesn't exist. Cultures are fluid. Cultures are ever-changing. Culture is a human construction. Culture is always influenced and always influencing others. That's the nature of culture. It cannot be taken. It can't be stolen. Somebody participating in your culture is not at all infringing on your ability to experience your own culture for yourself in its fullness. Cultural appropriation doesn't exist. Yet it's the appropriation that we hear the most about. Female appropriation does exist. yet we hear almost nothing about it. Despite what we're told, sex is not fluid. It is not a construct. It is not a societal invention, unlike culture. What's more, a man participating in womanhood is depriving women of their ability to experience it in its fullness. For example, a man who participates in female sports is effectively taking female sports away from females. And on a deeper level, girls are raised in the belief that their identity, their femininity, their girlhood is mutable, changeable, superficial. I ask the famous question all the time, what is a woman? Well, we live in a culture that cannot answer that question. Therefore, girls are brought up in this culture deprived of an identity that has meaning, deprived of a definable identity. That's the consequence of female appropriation. It's serious, it's real. Everything the left says about cultural appropriation applies here. It doesn't apply there, but it applies here. James Charles is a womanhood appropriator of long standing. This is by far not his first foray into cheapening womanhood, degrading it, using it like a toy. And for that, he's canceled. He should be canceled just as much as any cultural appropriator ever has been, and more, much more. Instead, he'll get some mean internet comments and then continue along with his life, unimpeded, corporate sponsors still intact. Corporate sponsors, by the way, that should be going to women. Real women, not a guy who pretends to be for clicks and clout. So, James Charles is officially canceled by me.